Guys, this is Dylan with Checkmate Vanguard. We're here with Adam, who got second place today at today's locals playing. What did you play?
I played Gaia, Tachikaze.
Gaia Tachikaze from the clan selection stuff?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to learn new things today. So what do you have to teach us?
All right, well, I mean, basic starter. Not much else to say besides that. Gives you a quick shield. My trigger lineup, also decently basic. Got the 4 draw triggers just to fish out for pieces. I thought about the crit sentinel, but it really does need at least a little bit of draw, and I figured if you're going to run draw, might as well just make it the perfect card. For heal, because we like to not lose all the time.
I've done it. I've healed myself out of
this one, I might have to explain a little bit. I accidentally ordered G triggers off TCG.
This guy made a poor man's mistake, unfortunately.
Yeah, so, you know, if I ever decided to swing in or boost, I got minus 4K.
You could. This is practically any 15K trigger, crit trigger you put in there. You
Yeah.
Put, yeah, it's pretty much that.
Yeah, we just treat it as such. But.
Yeah. So when you see replays, that's what it'll be.
Yeah. And then actual crit trigger.
So you got 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. Would you change anything about your trigger lineup?
I'd still consider throwing in a crit sentinel and doing like 10 crit, 2 draw. But just because the deck actually has a decent amount of draw power. But for now, this is probably fine. I want to change it.
Okay.
So going on to the grade 1s, we only run 7 grade 3s in this build. So we run Prism Bird.
Grade 3 consistency.
Yeah, and swinging in for 13 when you just do what the deck does is always nice.
It's magic number.
Oh yeah. Especially on Gaia turns where he's getting 10k if he has a gauge. That's always just nice to hit for force numbers like that. Now this is probably this might just be the best grade 1 for Tachikaze.
So what is that thing?
This is the new grade 1 from the clan selection. It's on play, so you Soul Blast, draw a card and call a card and give it a gauge. So it's good just for that early setup, especially if you want a grade 2 rush, which this deck does pretty well. And then also it does something that Tachikaze hasn't had access to at all, which is you rest it to put a card from drop zone into someone's gauge.
So what do you usually put on your drop zone as an equip gauge?
I like to usually go for this feller here, or his cousin Pinky. These two are super good for combo extenders, especially with. I'll show you in a bit, but one of these two, they're just really good extenders for when you pop stuff. Great cards.
Okay.
Speaking of the blue feller, we do run 4.
Really good card. Good extender.
Absolutely.
Dies, calls something.
Yeah, on attack he gives any other unit a gauge. It is once per turn for his second effect, where if he is retired, you call something from gauge. Yeah, just really good extender.
So goodbye Rising Noah for this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I don't think you'd run any less than 4 personally.
All right, good.
Going on to the grade 2s. I had this fella at 4. I cut him down to 3 just before the tournament. I don't fully regret it. I thought I was going to need stuff to retire more, but I thought 3 of him in Extort was fine. I like the fact that he's a free retire and a draw, so it just makes a lot of your plays just really free.
He could be really big if you want him to with his counterblast skill, which is kind of nice when you need to hit over a trigger.
Yeah. No, if you're trying to push for game or just in general, it's really convenient to have the option. Now, as I showed you guys earlier, 4 Pinky, exactly the same as the grade 1.
Must play.
Yeah, I just run 4 because I feel like that's what you want to see the most, whether it be in the drop zone or just in general. Riding Megarex on your Vanguard along with him is just really good. Gets you really good early rush.
All right, good. I like this.
now I'd argue the best grade 2 in Tachikaze, which I, for some reason, didn't pay attention to this card until...
People wanted this man gone, banned, killed.
Like, this is nuts, and I completely understand why. I mean, you just can't touch it with effects if it's got 3 or more engage, and at that point it's swinging for 24 on its own.
Yeah, Sweeper is just a must-have.
Yeah, and he fuels himself on attack. It's... Yeah, no, it's irreplaceable, especially with stuff like CBD and just other cards.
The fact he's untargetable is just so underrated.
Yeah, no, it just bypasses again. CBD, like Narukami. Yeah, just fantastic. 4
Awesome.
of, absolutely.
So grade 3s?
Yeah, going on to the grade. No, one more
grade
grade
2s?
Yeah,
Okay.
one more grade 2. Spino X Store.
Oh, this thing's really good.
Yeah, this
This card's insane.
Yeah, he's absolutely nuts.
This card had me sweating all friggin' night. I swear.
Yeah, he definitely opened up quite a lot of plays. So when it attacks the Vanguard, counterblast 1 and retire one of your rear guards, and you call something for its gauge. So it basically does what this guy does already.
And you draw a card.
Yeah, and you draw a card. So for example, if you had, let's say, 2 gauge under here, and you kill it with that, you're getting 2 more rear guard attacks. I only have him at 3 just because I feel stuff like Sweep and Pinky are just too important to run at 4.
Would you bump him or Megarex to 4 just for consistency's sake to pop the grade 1 or the grade 2?
Yeah, I honestly think if I were to increase 1 to 4, it'd be Megarex.
Okay.
Just for the fact that you can do it without counterblasting.
Right.
But no, he's just a fantastic card, and just there when you need it. So good stuff.
Good stuff.
Now going on to the
Grade
grade
3s,
3.
the new fun stuff. All right.
Oh yeah.
Tell us what's new.
So we're running 3 of Gigannoblazar. His name's
The most underrated card of the Clan Selection Volume 1. This thing is insane.
Yeah, I slept hard. I thought this card was going to be complete dog shit, honestly.
Everyone did.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be super bad, but no, it kind of just fuels Tachikaze with exactly what they need, which is just draw.
Board presence and drawing.
Yeah, board presence and drawing. I actually would definitely run this at 4. I regretted running it at 3 for sure.
It's an amazing setup 3 if you need to ride it first turn.
Yeah, and if you have to sit on it, it's really not that bad. I mean, his act is just really good. Helps replace field, so if you lose some, you don't have to worry about it too much.
Okay. And what do we have left?
The last grade 3, I'm running 4. Gaia.
One of the cheapest VRs in the game.
30 cents. Yeah, I would actually run him at 3, and I'd almost run him at 2 with maybe like an Anger Blader as tech.
Because you can get off a bird.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's fantastic.
Or draw it.
The fact that he can, he retires something on attack, gets its crit and power, really strong. His first effect, just so good. Anything that's got equip gauge gets +5, and if your opponent's Vanguard is 3, it gets +10 instead.
That's really good.
Yeah, the fact that it's not
That hits over trigger.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not just like whatever's currently in front row, it's literally the whole turn stuff's getting +10 if it's got an equip gauge, which just about everything I've showed you in this deck list puts an equip gauge on itself or on something else.
As long as you have something that pops or something that extends, like this deck can go for days upon days. Like seriously.
Absolutely.
Like you can easily get maybe 9 techs a turn if you pace everything just right. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is it's definitely a good finisher. Like I said, I would probably just cut him down to 3, maybe 2 if you feel like Anger Blader, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. So what were your matchups today? What did you play?
My first matchup was Ouroboros. It was pretty scary. They hit for stupid numbers really fast. Probably my least favorite grade 2, whatever the grade 2 was, that Oliver, I hate him.
Insane pressure early on grade 2. Insane pressure. Just imagine being hit with a 2 crit grade 2
The
at
fact that you
25.
can do it, like, if you had more than one, you can just do it twice. Like, it's stupid. That hits for really good numbers.
So next,
My next 2 matchups were both Shirayuki.
Shirayuki?
Yeah.
The new Shirayuki.
Yeah, new Shirayuki. I thought it was going to go way worse than it did. The benefit to this deck is they give the -10 or -30 to, whichever rear guards until the end of turn. But this deck is retiring its own stuff and calling new stuff that isn't affected by it pretty often. So usually...
So you can get around just Shirayuki targeting 3 things for -10 when you can just sack them.
Yep, exactly. And if it's also stuff like Sweep doesn't care about a -10 because he's getting 15 to 20 anyways. especially on a Gaia turn when Gaia's giving everything 10. Shiriki's basically just minusing the Gaia above.
And they're just soul blasting too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was my those two matches.
And what'd you play finally in round 4?
You know. No, it was freaking Bermuda, Prism, and
Oh god.
that thing is just kind of a clusterfuck. Bermuda's really strong. I feel like people sleep on it a lot because
It's not played often at those locals.
No, it's definitely not, and it's probably the cost of like a Subway sandwich. So, but the fact that it can do, it's just got resource gain for days.
You know, our decks were probably equal in cost. You know that?
yeah, both of these decks.
I think that's the beauty of your deck in general. I would say is that if anyone that's looking to get into the game for a really cheap rate, this deck maybe is only less than $50.
Yeah, no.
Seriously, if you're a budget player looking for something really solid to play this. Play this. This has a lot of potential.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely recommend it.
So, you got anything else to say or any advice or to new players that are trying to play this deck?
Just remember that the pink guy and the blue guy are once per turn, like per card name, so don't think that you can just keep spamming the same skill over and over. And don't be afraid to sit on a Blaze, especially if you need to draw. Like if you're not going to end the game anytime soon, Gaia is more of a finisher. You can poke just fine with the +5. The deck gets hit pretty hard by defensive triggers, but besides that,
and that's what unfortunately lost you and got you second place today.
Yep, it's just really good defensive triggers multiple.
times. In the case where a deck doesn't hit defensive triggers, they will die to this deck. I'm just gonna warn you.
100%.
If they're at 5 and you go full extension, you will die.
Yeah, and it's way more consistent than I thought it'd be.
Okay, well, thanks Adam. Thanks for sharing your deck. Thanks for providing content.
Absolutely.
This is Dylan with Checkmate Vanguard. I'll see you all later.
Thanks for watching Checkmate Vanguard. Consider subscribing and liking the video, and look forward to more matches from us.